Mistake them for the truth. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all.
Why would I have anything to say to you? All you do is lie.
What else is left but to abandon even the hope of truth and content ourselves instead with stories?
It's the role of good journalism to take on powerful abuses. And when powerful abuses are taken on, there is always a back reaction.
Take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans. Right. You're saying that's not gain of function?
That is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially.
When you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay?
Welcome back, Habbening Bros. It's Thursday night. You know what that means? It's time for another Habbening TV. My God, it's fucking hot. It's hot in London. Yes, the climate change has been hitting us very, very hard. It's very, very hot. Fortunately, I have been assured that by paying more taxes to the government, they can change the weather. It's amazing, right? All we really need to do is sort of impoverish the entire country, be totally poor, pay more taxes, let the government dictate every single part of our lives. I mean, obviously, though, this is the UK. What more parts of our lives can they regulate? Don't worry, bros. I have been reliably informed that there's an entire government department working on that, even as we speak. I hear the sort of next thing is possibly a toenail tax, or possibly a breathing tax, a looking at stuff tax. Oh, they're just mate. I can't wait, right? They're going to roll out all of these great new things, right? And while, of course, all of that's happening, the war, the war, is it a war? It's sort of a war, right? Iran and Israel, they're warring with each other. I mean, they're throwing missiles at each other. I don't know how well it's going for the Iranians, though. Apparently, the US and Israel, who are now basically sort of a combined entity that I guess you could call US Rail. Anyway, US Rail has stated that they now have air superiority over the entirety of Iran, which presumably means that, much like Iraq, because, this is exactly the Iraq playbook, they'll institute a no-fly zone or, something, and just keep bombing shit from the air. However, there is a bit of a problem. The nuclear facilities, the deep underground nuclear facilities, will they actually be able to be bombed? Obviously, the US Rail, the US part of US Rail, obviously, does have some of the biggest bada booms on the planet. And they have a special big bada boom for bunkers, the BU-69, or whatever it's called. The bunker buster, right? The dildo of death, right? It burrows deep into your bunker and then blows you up on the inside. But there have been some concerns. Will this dildo of death, this wand of mass destruction, will it be enough to penetrate deep enough into the Iranian mountains to blow up the thing that they need to blow up, which has nothing to do, of course, of depriving Iran of a civilian nuclear program so that when the oil fields on the edge of the country are taken over, they're all going to basically starve to death. No. Don't want to hear any of that, right? We need to overthrow the Iranian leadership for peace and democracy and puppies and flowers and social justice and for climate change and for women's equality and just shut the fuck up, right? Just shut the fuck up. Get in the boat. You're going to Iran, baby. We sort of I don't know. It's been a little bit quiet. Actually, after the huge outbreak of war, both sides are still lobbing missiles at each other. Although basically, as I was saying, because the Iranians have no air cover anymore, I believe that US Rail are now flying bombing sorties over the country. The research reactor in Arak, that's ARAK, has been hit and blown up. Won't that release radiation? Shut up! What are you, some kind of a racist? That's a very anti-Semitic thing to say, right? You don't understand, right? This would be good radiation, right? This kind of radiation will be full of freedom particles, right? And if some kind of radioactive cloud were to sort of drift over the region from destroying this reactor, all it would do, right, would be to implant more freedom particles inside the filthy, peasants inside the Middle East and make them yearn for American-style democracy straight from US Rail. TM. Copyright. So yes, because there's been a bit of a lull in the news, I'm going to cover a couple of other things that sort of passed by in the sort of massive torrent of news that was last week. Story number two, the Casey Grooming Gangs report got released in the UK. Now, everybody basically knows what was in it. Like anyone who was paying attention, right, knows what was in it. Probably the most surprising thing of all, actually, was that it was even published, that the people involved were allowed to say the things that they were allowed to say, which is basically everything that the far right, oh my God, have been saying for like ages. Well, it was all true. In fact, it was so true that even Hope Not Hate had to come out and completely reverse their previous position, now, condemning the grooming gang. So you know something's happening when Hope Not Hate have been given their marching orders to change their position, bros. The results, sort of the backlash from the political commentariat class, has been like, what you would expect. No. I mean, look, sure, all those like girls were like getting like raped, right? But are you considering the political effects of this, right? And how it might strengthen those seeking to sow division, right? Not that the actual rapes themselves would be sowing division or anything, or that mass migration would be sowing division. No! What is sowing division is by admitting to the things that are actually happening. I presume shit has now gotten basically so bad that the government has pretty much decided that they've got to admit that it's happening. Otherwise, like, the crisis of legitimacy that the UK government is under is just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. I don't think that's by itself going to do it, right? Given that the entire sort of like basis of the UK government seems to be built upon just denying reality. But, we never know, right? We never know. So yeah, we'll be looking into that. And our final story from tonight, very, very germane, given the current heat wave that is in London. I mean, it's 32 degrees, right? I mean, it's not, it's not like huge, right? But because London is just so stinky and muggy, it always feels worse when it's in London, right? You're just like, because you're not only hot, you're hot and you're in London. And you're like, oh God, I'm really hot. Oh, I'm in London. So, it's just the being in London, right? And the realization of that fact sort of adds like another 5 to 10 degrees on top of the sort of like general load. So, fortunately, the United Nations has come out and said that they are looking at criminalizing climate misinformation. Yes, you heard it. You heard it here first, bros. I mean, not really. They've been talking about this stuff for ages, but The Guardian did an article about it. I needed a third story, and I was like, this sounds like fun. Now, I hope that all the people watching this channel are forewarned and forearmed. I don't want to hear any climate misinformation in the chat, right? We have, precisely 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to save the world, right, from, gaining temperature by 1 degree or 2.5 degrees or like 1,000 degrees, right? We are all going to like freeze to death or possibly boil or possibly drown. Like, something bad is going to happen, right? If you don't give a bunch of tax money to the United Nations, right? The future is blurry, but this much is certain. By giving taxes to the United Nations, crisis will be averted. You can take that to the bank. Fuck knows they certainly will, right? Probably the World Bank. I don't know where does the UN bank with? Probably the World Bank, right? If I had, well, maybe the Rothschilds, right? So I'll just be talking about that, and the sort of like weird PR glow org that they're pushing it through. This all started under COVID. Of course, they're basically trying to like retread all the stuff that they did in COVID, because they're like, oh man, the COVID thing, it worked really, really well, right? Like, until it didn't, and at the cost of massively undermining governmental legitimacy in literally every single country in the world. But it's fine. It's fine. We can do it again after all, right? Once your legitimacy reaches zero, it's not like it can go any lower, can it? It's a bit like your social credit score. Anyway, that's what's up tonight. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. On Rumble, we have Captain Crisps. Good to see you, mate. J. Chiva Loophole, Seti Sapiente, Human Shit Show, Livia Drusilla, great to see you, Livia. Who else we got? Anybody? I know Mikey Bikey was in there somewhere. Good to see you, Mr. Bikey. I'm pretty sure Yiz is on Rumble as well. Excuse me. Come along to Gulag Cafe tonight. We will be talking about, what are we going to be talking about? Oh, yes. Judeo-Christianity. Christian Zionism, and how basically everything, this whole thing with Iran is just a retread of all the stuff that they used to get us into Iraq. Like, it's literally It's 1-to-1. I've got some old clips of George W. Bush talking about how the threat to Western civilization may come in the form of a cloud shaped like a massive dildo. Nobody needs that. We're fighting a war against evil Iran and dildos and Saddam. So come on to that. That should be fun. Let's see. On YouTube, we've got The Nameless One, Robert Verlinden, Streaky Bacon, Sunny Jim, Simon JJ. Good to see you, mate. The Tree Godfather. Good to see you too, man. Who else we got? Anybody else? It's just the hardcore here tonight, right? You know, just the hardcore. Oh, and Otto Stormhardt. Jawohl, Herr Stormhardt. Anybody else? I think that's everybody. Thanks for coming, everyone. And on Odyssey, we have MK. And Machine for Baked Beans. Hola, Senor Beans. And good to see you too, MK. Hope you're everybody as well. I do hope you're and Ardent Party. Man, he just slips it in. Senor Party in his home. Slipped it in at the last moment. Right, today's meme. Oh, I love reading too. Do you have any favorite books? Yes. 1984. Wow. So many. I personally can't really engage with people who haven't read 1984. I know you can call me like a bit of a weirdo, but just unless someone has read 1984 and they can appreciate that book, right? Like that was the sort of the test that I used before asking people whether they took the vaccine or not. Now I have a much simpler test. So how many boosters did you get? That's wow. You got 4. That's fascinating. I don't think we can be friends. It's fine. It's fine. I'm used to it now. I'll stay over here, right in my little corner of basedness, with all the other lovely people, and you can stay over there in trust the government land, which is looking a bit shabby, to be perfectly honest, right? Like, I don't know if they're not keeping up on the infrastructure, but trust the government land ain't what it used to be, bros, right? Let's get on with the news tonight. The wisdom of the Chinese, right, is here for us once again. Old friend, beware. Jew nigger battle Muslim nigger. Much danger. Do not go until I advise a safer. They have so much to teach us, bros. So much to teach us. This, of course, is in response to the news that China has called on its citizens to leave Israel immediately. Indeed, many countries are now advising all of their people to leave. However, civilian aviation in Israel is shut down. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure the Americans like laying on like cruise ships and stuff to like get people out. But yeah, everyone's basically saying, avoid that part of the world. I don't know why. Bad falafels, some like dodgy hummus, perhaps. Now, this is what I was talking about. This is from Donald Trump. We now have complete and total control over the skies of Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment, and plenty of it. But it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA. Well, I mean, I kind of do agree with you. This sort of air superiority is going to be tricky. I'm not sure whether they can actually like intercept, ballistic missiles and stuff like over Iran before they head into orbit or wherever it is they like to hang out. I think it's like some sort of like weird club on the edge of Tehran with like strange sort of industrial Islamic music or something like that, right? But the rest of Iran is going to be in for some trouble. I got a script cooking on where this is likely to go, with like maps and all that kind of like other stuff. I'll let you guys know when it is done. So why hasn't Trump ordered the attack, bros, right? It seemed like it was going to happen. Then nothing ever happens, bros. Were BTFO'd, they were running for their lives, right? They were all like, millions must dry. Wait, where's the millions must dry? sticker. Here we go. It seemed like millions must dry, but no. Nothing has happened. Trump has not pushed the big shiny red button to order those sleek and beautiful bombers to fly over Iran and destroy, the nuclear infrastructure of Iran. Because they're gonna like lob a nuke at like America or Israel or the UK or somewhere, right? Look, the important thing, right, is that Israel is fighting them over there so that we don't have to fight them over here, right? Of course, the likelihood of Iran invading the continental United States is a very, very real thing. And do not pay any attention to the fact that this exact same excuse was literally just used for Ukraine. It's a great excuse. I don't think they've really got much new material, to be perfectly honest. If it worked last time, it'll work again. Trump has reportedly approved an Iran attack, but is withholding the final order. Now, allegedly, there will be some negotiations tomorrow, on Friday. Iran said that they wanted to come to the White House. I don't know whether, that's going to be a thing or not. It's going to be interesting, right? Oh, wait, did we just get an entropy? We did. Mikey Bikey for $3. We will fight them on their beaches. Yes, we certainly shall. Does Iran have beaches? I mean, I presume they must, right? They're next to the Gulf, but they're mainly sort of like a mountainous country. Maybe they have some like cool mountainous beaches. Yes, we will fight them on their beaches, and then we will take their beaches. As President Trump convenes the White House Situation Room. Oh, there's a situation in the Situation Room. A delicious situation. The donuts have arrived. Yay! And following Ayatollah Khamenei's early televised speech vowing, "We will not surrender." Yes, he basically Khamenei kind of like did this sort of like weird dodge where he's like, "We will not be forced into peace, but we'll also not be forced into war." Right? No one's gonna like push us around, tell us what to do. Right? You're not my dad. Right? You can't tell me what to do. Right? And Trump's like, I will be your daddy. I've got a big red button that says I'm your daddy. President Trump told senior aides late Tuesday that he approved of attack plans for Iran, but was holding off to see if Tehran would abandon its nuclear program. People familiar with the deliberations said Iran's well-defended Fordo enrichment facility is a possible U.S. target. Israel has yet to attack the facility, which is buried under a mountain and is generally considered by military experts to be out of reach of all but the most powerful bombs. Asked earlier if it had decided whether to strike at Iran's nuclear facilities, Trump said, "I may do it, I may not do it," and then repeated his insistence of Iran's unconditional surrender. The next week is going to be very big, maybe less than a week. Yes, so, look, Trump's being quite cryptic. Total blackout painting, good to see you, bro. I hope everything's like going well in Idaho. I miss it already. We have super chat from Simon JJ. Wow, a whole $15. Thank you very much, mate. The Iranians haven't done nothing. I don't think they have nukes. Well, indeed. That is very perspicacious. Perspicacious. What is it? It must be the heat is like destroying the speech center in my brain. I'm just like, yes, even the International Atomic Energy Agency has come out and basically said, yeah, look, we didn't say they had nukes. We just said they sort of weren't letting inspectors in. But I mean, look, it's Israel, right? Like, if look, you can't hold Israel, right, to the same kind of standards that you can to other countries, okay, right? When it comes to international law, the laws of war, any of this kind of stuff, right? They're the chosen people, which means they get to choose which laws they follow and which laws they don't, bros, okay? So, thank you very much, Simon JJ. Wait, where was I? So, meanwhile, Well, so yes, okay. So meanwhile, everyone's basically being like, look, right? We already did this with Iraq, literally exactly the same thing, right? We went in, we kicked ass, we destroyed their country, we blew up all the oil wells, right? We exposed thousands and thousands of American troops to, chemical weapons stockpiles or some, I don't know. Everyone got like Gulf War syndrome, probably from the vaccines actually. But people are saying, it's because we blew up the chemical weapons stockpiles. I don't know, man. I don't know. Livy Drusilla, Iran have denied that they said they wanted to go to the White House. Yeah, well, they would say that, wouldn't they? Filthy Iranians, always lying. Not like the bold and noble Israelis, of course, who would never lie. Okay, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I guess it would sort of look like they were like crawling. I don't know. Well, where would they negotiate then? I wonder. Switzerland? I mean, the way shit's going at the moment, right? They'd send a negotiation team, and the Mossad would like assassinate them before they got there, right? The entire nuclear negotiation team, by the way, that Trump was engaging with before the war broke out, they're all dead. Like they all got killed in a missile strike. It turns out that Israel hacked the Iranian communications network and sent a urgent message to everyone to have a special super secret super squirrel meeting at an undisclosed location, and then dropped a missile on it. So yeah, that's how they got the Iranian high command. Iran is now in a near total national internet blackout as well. As far as I'm aware, this is ongoing and has not come up. Conveniently, I imagine this would also make it hard for Iran to release any of those documents that they allegedly exfiltrated from Israel, talking about Israel's nuclear program. Of course, Israel's nuclear program is absolutely awesome. They should have all of the nuclear bombs that they want, despite not signing the non-proliferation treaty. As I said before, right, treaties and stuff like that, they are for lesser countries, right? Not for countries as noble and awesome as Israel, right? Let's see what else we got in the latest news. The Iranians are still shelling, missiling Tel Aviv. All right, so yes, this is it. Trump caution on Iran strike linked to doubts over the bunker buster bomb. Is it going to work, bros? Is it going to work? The likelihood of a successful US strike on the Iranian nuclear facility buried deep underground at Fordo is a topic of deep contention. See, because they don't know the exact certification. Oh, we got another super chat. $25. Thank you very much from Total Blackout Painting. Thanks very much, man. I give less than a fuck about Iran. I don't want my kids and grandkids to have to fight for bankers and pornographers. Have a beer on me, bro. I shall indeed do that. Thank you very much, Total Blackout Painting. Well, that's very, very heartless of you, Total Blackout Painting, right? Like, don't you realize that if Iran isn't stopped, right, there could be a mushroom cloud over New York or maybe London. I don't know if they hit London, would it really be such a bad thing? Obviously, I'd sort of want to leave beforehand. Iranian bros, if you're watching this, please give me a bit of heads up before you nuke London, right? Just so I can, get out. Maybe they'd probably think I'm an infidel, wouldn't they? They'd just be like, we hope that you die too. Well, fine. I guess I'll die then. God. Donald Trump has suggested to defense officials it would only make sense for the US to launch strikes against Iran if the bunker buster bomb was guaranteed to destroy the uranium enrichment facility at Fordo. Right, so this is like a whole complicated thing. I was watching a thing on this today. Because of evolution in various kinds of like concrete and stuff, of which the Iranians are like the best in the world, basically, apparently, at developing all these like new kinds of like concrete that can withstand ballistic strikes, because everybody has known, right, that this was on the cards, right, for like 20 years, right? The Americans are like, we have Iran, we have to get to Iran. Iran is the final boss. Once we have destroyed Iran, the world will be at peace forever and ever for at least about 5 years until we find someone else that we have to destroy because they are evil and supporting the terrorists that we funded, of course, in their backyard. So fucking tiresome, bro. So Trump, despite sort of, early indications that Trump was being a retard, he is in fact, playing it quite cool, giving it a little bit of time to sort of cool off, I guess. He's not rushing in to sort of back the Israelis either. Again, many people are surprised by this. I guess we will see, bros. Netanyahu, of course, has been singing that same old choir sheet that they were using to get into Iraq. New York City could be attacked if America does not join the war against Iran. Is that a threat, bro? The thing about the Israelis that I can never quite figure out is they're always putting out these messages that basically looked at one way, right, could be a threat. Like they do this like mafia thing all the time. You're like, it's a lovely city you got there. Be a shame if anything happened to it, Not from us, of course. Oh, God. What else have we got? What's this? And not only that, the US. Come on, it's the Israelis, right? We got another entropy. 420 from MK. Let's give you a dancing Stalin and a dancing girl. Woo! 420, cheers. Thank you for the show. Thanks very much, MK. I appreciate that very much, bro. They just found another secret nuclear site in Iran. Now, for those of you who have been watching this stuff for a while, this kind of has shades of like the whole, Tora Bora fortress. In case you guys don't remember, when they were invading Afghanistan under the pretext of hunting for Osama bin Laden, there were a bunch of these like pictures that came out basically saying like, the Afghanis. Wait, was it the Iraqi? God, I can never bloody remember, right? The bad guys, the terrorists, right, have hollowed out this entire like mountain, and inside this mountain is this like huge bunker, and they put these like cutaway diagrams and stuff, and it was all bullshit. The thing didn't exist. Of course, they never do that this time, bros, right? Obviously, I'm absolutely sure, right? If Mossad says that they found it on signals intelligence, then it must exist, bros.
Exclusive satellite images revealing the location of a previously unknown Iranian nuclear site. Now, the facility spans nearly 2,500 acres, and this is a big discovery. Jillian Turner has more from the State Department. Good morning, Jillian.
Pretty explosive, Dana. These satellite images that we have obtained exclusively show the alleged site location and even the layout of the secret, previously unknown nuclear weapons facilities inside Iran. This, of course, raises fresh concerns about the regime's role in these ongoing nuclear talks with the Trump administration. The National Council of Resistance of Iran has collected intelligence from sources on the ground inside Iran that locate this nuclear weapons facility in what is called Semnan province, far from the regime's already known nuclear sites. It's codenamed the Rainbow Site by Iran's officials, and it spans nearly 2,500 acres. It's been operating as far as we can discern.
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely believe, Colin Powell holding up the little jar of white powder. It's anthrax. Did anyone post the Saddam Hussein meme? It doesn't matter, right? Like, look, I'm sure this time it's real.
Exclusive
right?
satellite images.
Can we see the pictures? No? Can we? Can we see, right, a mocked up cutaway picture, right? Like just based on like rumors and stuff, like drawn by some guy in some intelligence agency. Can we see one of those maybe? Now, at the same time this is happening, of course, the Israelis basically are sort of moving up the sort of accession, the replacement to Khamenei, Reza Pahlavi, who is the sort of, the son of the late Shah of Iran. Kind of ironic, really, because it was in fact the Americans and the English that overthrew Mossadegh back in, oh God, when was that? Oh man, my brain. Back in the before times, and installed the Shah, who was then sort of like a massive dick, and then sort of like basically started, talking too much about the Jays, and so he then got deposed by the revolution.
جمهوری اسلامی به پایان خود رسیده و در حال سقوط است. خامنه‌ای همچون موشی هراسان زیر زمین پنهان شده و کنترل اوضاع را از دست داده است. آنچه آغاز شده برگشت ناپذیر است. آینده روشن است و ما با هم از این پیچ تند تاریخ عبور خواهیم کرد. در این روزهای دشوار، دل من با همه شهروندان بی‌دفاعی است که آسیب دیدند و قربانی جنگ طلبی و توهمات خامنه‌ای شدند.
Doesn't really matter quite so much what he says, just that he is there and he is visible and he is ready to take over. Now, the International Atomic Energy Agency, the agency that sort of kicked this whole thing off, have come out and said, well, look, we didn't actually say that Iran had a nuclear weapon, but you look, that's okay, right? Like, just don't read too far into it.
I think it was an important consideration. I understand what you're saying, but the fact that they continue to cite this report, based on your assessments, I mean, given what the US intelligence community has been saying, and it's contradicting what the Israeli intelligence is saying, the Americans have continued to say, and Tulsi Gabbard said 2 months ago to the Senate Estimates Committee, the intelligence community has continued to say that we don't believe that Iran at this point in time is trying to weaponize. Is that your assessment as well?
Well, that was not in the same way. We have different mandate, different approach than the national intelligence of a country. For us, on the basis of our inspections, on the basis of our own evaluations, we came to the conclusion that we could not affirm that there is any systematic effort in Iran at the moment to manufacture a nuclear weapon. While we say that, at the same time, we say Iran is enriching 60% uranium, the only country in the world doing that. So there were elements for concern. But as to saying they are building manufacturing a nuclear weapon, no, we didn't say that.
So what he's basically saying is that there are known knowns, known unknowns, unknown knowns, and unknown unknowns. Was it Rumsfeld who said that, or was it Cheney? Oh, mate, this whole thing is giving me like such major Iraq War vibes, right? Reza Pahlavi already has a 100-day transition plan in place if Khamenei falls. I think it's more like a when. But on the other hand, Khamenei's probably like in a bunker somewhere, completely untouchable. But if now that all of sort of Iran's media outlets have been destroyed, there's no real way to talk to the people. Whereas, of course, Reza Pahlavi, well, I don't know, right? If there's no internet in Iran, how are they going to see his messages on Twitter? Maybe the US is or Israel is beaming like TV signals into Iran. Wouldn't surprise me. They did that kind of like stuff in Gaza and the West Bank. Probably also full of like, porn, for the Iranian children or something like that. Now, today, in a terrible miscarriage of justice, the Iranians hit the Mossad Intelligence University and damaged the hospital right next to it. The chutzpah, of course, knows no bounds. So as far as I'm aware, this was not a direct hit. The hospital was not destroyed. It was sort of damaged slightly. The target being struck was the intelligence university next door. This is a grave violation of international law by Iran, which is launching missiles at Israeli cities with a clear intent to target civilian population centers. Okay. See, look, sometimes international law works for you. Sometimes international law works against you, right? Like, the trick is telling which is which. I call on the United Nations to immediately condemn this Iranian act of terror. We will not allow a terrorist regime to threaten the citizens of Israel. It's a bit rich after what went on in Gaza. I mean, this is the thing that like really weeds me out, is this whole thing seems to be so rushed, right? If they had time to do this, right, I would have advised them look, wrap up everything with Gaza. Give that like a year or two for, you know, for everyone to like sort of mostly forget about it, right? Then about like 6 months to sort of slowly leak intelligence, right? About like the Iranian threat, do a couple of false flags, right? Like, you know, destabilize some like neighboring countries, right? And then, right, kick off the war. But this has really been rushed, and you can tell by like just how quickly they've ramped all of this up. So apparently tomorrow there will be nuclear talks and UN talks. Iran's foreign minister is set to meet with the foreign minister from Germany, France, and the UK in Geneva. Man, that's going to be a frosty meeting. For nuclear talks that sound like deja vu from 2015. Right, so I think Livia was correct. They didn't say they wanted to come to the White House. They said they would meet in Geneva. And Iran is calling a UN Security Council session to sound off on what it calls Israeli escalation and America's role in the chaos. Yeah, that's not going to... Look, even if the Security Council tries and passes a resolution, the US will block it. That's the way it works. You know, that is the way it has worked for, God, decades at this point. US is preparing for Iran to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Ooh! Trump will decide in the next 2 weeks, bros. Only 2 more weeks. Wait, where's the 2 more weeks sticker? Oh, come on, man. I must have the 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks, bros. Until we go to war. Or not go to war. You know what I mean, right? The jacked guerrilla general pushing Trump to strike Iran. Whatever. Starmer urges Trump to keep a cool head. Actually, one of the things I read today, which was really interesting, was the Attorney General, Lord Hermit, basically said to Starmer, "Oh yeah, look, we can't join the strikes with the US against Iran. It would be illegal," which really does like make you wonder who the fuck is actually running the UK. I thought, like, you know, it was literally the job of the executive to decide upon military operations, but apparently not. It is the job of the Attorney General to decide. I quite like this.
But Mom, I don't want to go fight Iranians for Israel.
Joey, don't you dare be anti-Semitic!
I want to go home, sir! You some kind of anti-Semite, Joey!
I don't even know why we were there.
Let's focus on why that thought is anti-Semitic, Joey.
Get a job, loser. Israel needs our taxes.
But I'm not even dead.
That's anti-Semitic, son. But Mom, I don't...
You don't want to. You don't want to be anti-Semitic. Just don't ask too many questions. All right. Okay. Running a bit long. Right. Second story. The Casey report into the grooming gangs came out. This is a bit old story. About a week ago, this happened. Essentially, back in, I think it was January, the government ordered a review of all of the current existing evidence. I mean, I presume the people that sort of agreed to it basically said, "Oh, well, look, this will shut the far right up once and for all. All we need to do is review the evidence to find out, like, actually, it's just a bunch of white racists doing this." But no, in a shocking turn, the report basically came out and said that it wasn't just a bunch of white people, and that people on the far right who'd been talking about this for ages, including, of course, the far right children who were raped in a way, of course, which was very, very far right, causing them to be far right. If they had just tried to sort of like make friends with, right, and cross the cultural divide with their rapists, they would not have been like far right, really. So if you think about it, right, the fault was clearly with the children, right, who didn't, don't put in enough effort to understand the culture of their rapists, right? And thus were perpetuating racism and sowing division in our society, bros, right? Terrible. I think all of those kids should probably be sent to a re-education camp, right? So that, they don't infect anyone else with their horrible racism. Now, if you've been following this for a while, you will be aware that the political class for ages has been basically sort of like saying, no, it's not Pakistani men. No, we can't understand what per capita means. It's funny, they can always understand what per capita means, right? When it means getting more black and brown people into the government. But as soon as it's like anything bad, suddenly they're like, what's per capita? I literally don't understand. And basically it came out that the ethnicity of 2/3 of the people involved in this weren't even recorded, right? So essentially it is impossible to draw sort of like conclusions from the figures that we have. But even the data that we do have, Pakistani males are highly overrepresented. Now, clearly, right, the way to solve this, right, would be to encourage more sort of like white grooming gangs, right? And thus we would get sort of like racial equality in these statistics. Makes perfect sense if you think about it, right? What we need to do is encourage more white people to do this kind of like stuff and thus fix the figures. What else have we got? Right. Carl Benjamin did like quite a good thread on this. So, I mean, this is the whole point, right? Not only were the ethnicities not recorded, they were deliberately covered up. There is mention in the report, someone found like a paper copy of a report where the Pakistani bit had literally just been like, Tipexed out, right? Like whited out, basically, right? Because when all of this was going on, it was like just the start of the anti-racism regime, and no one wanted to be called a racist now, did they? Right? Like it doesn't really matter, right? Mikey Bikey, digital ID will fix it. Yes, Mikey Bikey, digital ID is going to fix everything, bros. I can't wait. Looking forward to it so much. Now, Carl points out that if the offenders were white, there wouldn't be any reason to not record the ethnicity. After all, you can't be racist against white people. Am I right, bros? This means that it is highly likely that the 2/3 of the non-recorded ethnicities are, in fact, Pakistani Muslims, right? Which, of course, would show that it is overwhelmingly that group of people, and I bet you any money that you would find out that a high majority of them were from Mirpur in Pakistan, right? Awesome. Really, great. Even despite this, even in the report, they can still tell that this is a problem with the Pakistani Muslim community. And of course, the most important thing of all is not all of the children getting raped, but how these rapes will play into the hands of the far right. They're still doing this shit. They're not like, oh my God, right? It's so terrible. There's like children got hurt, right? They're like, think of how this is going to enable the far right. There is also serious evidence that police and councils and probably local and government even higher up were involved in covering this up. And I bet we're probably involved as well. Probably people being bribed with this kind of like stuff. Mate, it's like crazy. Official statistics show that 17,000 children were abused by grooming gangs each year, but the report accepts that this will certainly be woefully underreported. I've seen figures of like 50, 60,000, right? But you got to understand, they are sort of like white girls, right? So they're not as important and valuable as black or brown or Jewish girls, right? I just, as a thought experiment, right? Imagine if, right, 50,000 Jewish girls a year were being trafficked by Pakistani gangs. Do you reckon, like, they care about that? I can't help thinking that something would have been done about this earlier, right? Maybe I'm wrong. The gangs are sort of, ethnically homogenous because they're based on sort of family ties and friend ties. So they're just they're just groups of immigrants that know each other, basically, right? Of the ethnicities that were recorded, 87% were white British, right? So when the ethnicity was white, of course, they recorded it. And this is the figure that you keep seeing like retards throw up again and again, saying like, oh, no, it's white people doing it. It's not a problem with the Pakistanis. They are awesome. Manchester is highly overrepresented. Some of the figures are like quite shocking. This even came out in Parliament. I haven't actually like watched this. The Muslims, of course, were like, no, like don't talk about it. Oh, from Stumbling. Let me see. I'll give you a dancing girl and 2 more weeks. For $5, won't someone please think of the far right? Indeed. What about the effects of this on the far right? Thank you very, very much, Stumbling.
Naz Shah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I first thank the Home Secretary for her statement and for her leadership and commitment to get a grip on this issue. As a Member of Parliament...
Fuck, I can't hear that. The volume's too low. But this is the MP who famously was basically saying that the girls need to shut their mouth for the sake of diversity. Now, this is Baroness Casey, who was the author of the report on the newsagents, which is a sort of like basically the podcast of the lefty elites. Again, making the point about how the problem is that it will enable the far right.
You've got to be utterly responsible with data anyway, but specifically when it's around protected characteristics.
Well, and I know this is difficult, and I think it's really important to be precise about this. And I know that the data is imperfect. One of the conclusions of your report is that the data is imperfect and it needs to be much better. But at the centre of this, the politics of this, the political question, which is constantly prosecuted, we've even seen it be prosecuted this morning from Kemi Badenoch, is that there is a particular problem with Pakistani men and group-based child sexual exploitation.
Has Kemi Badenoch said that this morning?
Well, what I'm saying is that she has been out this morning holding a press conference saying that this has been ignored for political reasons for far too long, and that therefore this is a sort of, it's been part of a cover-up and so on. From what you can see, what does your report say empirically about how accurate that charge is? That there is a particular problem and that this problem is centred around Pakistani men?
So I would just urge enormous caution of the opposition leader making political football out of anything, which...
Now, this raises a very, very interesting point, right? If diversity is such a strength, right, and multiculturalism is so fucking awesome, right, why is it that everyone in the political elite instinctively understands that if the crimes of any one group of people is revealed, right, it could result in outbreaks of mass violence, right? I thought diversity was our strength, bros, right? They're like... just, oh, well, anything that happens could result in like mass ethnic violence. That's just the part and parcel of living in modern Britain. You're like, it wasn't always like this, right? Where, sort of any scandal could break, right? Which could lead to an outbreak of mass violence, right? When the country was much more ethnically homogenous, you didn't have this kind of... You didn't have the Catholics and the Protestants fucking like going at it with machetes in the streets, right? I don't know. Did I just do a racism? I can't even tell, bros.
Sorry, that's quite a tough thing to say. I just wish people wouldn't, because at the heart of it is the victims and then Pakistani heritage communities. The vast majority are law-abiding. So will you establish facts? Yes.
The vast majority of the far right are also law-abiding. Doesn't stop you guys from like slagging them off at any opportunity, right? Why is it that this racial group, right, this ethnic or religious group, right, you can't criticize it, you have to talk about the victims, and no. When it comes to the far right, none of those protect. It doesn't matter if they're law-abiding, doesn't matter if they pay taxes, doesn't matter whether they're good citizens, right? You just lump them all together and you're like, hate them. So tiresome, bros.
Yes, Prime Minister, are establish the facts. The facts are the preceding government did not do a good enough job to collect data to establish ethnicity. And then in recent times, people, the police, MPCC and others, every visit I went to, people would say the vast majority of people that commit child sexual exploitation in group-based are white. I would say upon what basis have you made that? You know, slide 1, slide 2, and I was like, And then you realise they're making that finding on the basis of 34% of completion of the data. You can't make that. So people were leaning into a finding that they wanted, which is what I saw in Rotherham, and at one level Tipexing out Pakistani on a children's service file, which was probably done in a well-meaning way because they'll be worried about sort of racism that flows from that, is actually a gift to racists.
So, covering up, altering government documents, right? Altering child protection reports was probably done in a well-meaning way. You're fucking shitting me. Isn't that a fucking crime? Right? You mess with your fucking tax return, right? They'll fuck you over. But look, right, they probably just, mess with this thing, for the best possible reasons, bros. For the best, they probably, just didn't want to perpetuate racism, right? Except, right, that it was, in this case, racism would actually have been appropriate.
I mean, all of this is a gift to the racists. If good people don't look at difficult issues, bad people will. And
yeah, so there you go, right? That's the real lesson that needs to come away. Now, to be fair, I do respect the fact that Baroness Casey does seem to actually value the truth, okay, right? So, props to her. If she was more of a lip shit, she would have just covered all of this up. But I mean, I don't know what's going on in the minds of the government here. I can only assume that things are getting so bad now that they have decided that they've got to do something about it, or possibly there is a push from certain client groups to shut down the huge amount of Muslim influence in the UK government, particularly since October 7th. Now, if that's the case, then, I'm glad that they're finally doing something about it, but I wouldn't mistake that for the government actually giving a shit about the white working class, just generally. Jess Phillips, she's annoying. I'll spare you. The government has said they're going to have a national inquiry, but the national inquiry will stop at the local government level and will not examine any questions of, who in the government knew about it. Oh, and as I was saying, this is Nick Lowe's from Hope Not Hate. He's like, the decision by the government to initiate an inquiry about the grooming gangs is the right one and shouldn't have been taken years ago. But Hope Not Hate, right, has literally spent the last 10 years, even more, demonizing, canceling, and trying to financially destroy anyone who talked about this. So, I don't know, they must have gotten their marching orders. And this is what makes me think that, this is being directed from on high. And let us not forget about the case of a child who said nasty words, racist words against the Muslims who raped her and then got done on a racism charge. Because that's how we roll in the UK, bros. Right, our final story of the night. This is from The Guardian, of course, as you can imagine. Climate misinformation turning crisis into catastrophe, report says. False claims obstructing climate action, say researchers, amid calls for climate lies to be criminalized. Oh, mate, I'm looking forward to this, mate. What kind of climate lies are they going to criminalize? I mean, shit, they basically criminalize every single other kind of fucking speech. Why not just go the whole hog, right? If I can walk out one day, be like, it's a bit cold today, right? You post it on Twitter, and fucking you get a visit from the police. And be like, did you post this thing saying that it wasn't very hot today? You realize that climate misinformation. Please come down to the station. Rampant climate misinformation is turning the crisis into a catastrophe, according to the authors of a new report. Ooh, a new report. Ooh. It found climate action was being obstructed and delayed by false and misleading information stemming from fossil fuel companies, right-wing politicians, and some nation-states. The report from the International Panel on the Information Environment systematically reviewed 300 studies. The researchers found that climate denialism has evolved into campaigns focused on discrediting solutions, such as the false claims that renewable energy caused the recent massive blackout in Spain. It did cause the fucking recent massive blackout in Spain. including claims that are like exactly true. This shit is COVID 2.0. They're just basically trying to like do exactly the same shit with COVID. Online bots and trolls hugely amplify false narratives. The researchers say playing a key role in promoting climate lies in your eyes with climate pies. The experts also report that political leaders, civil servants, and regulatory agencies are increasingly being targeted in order to delay climate action. Oh, we're not going to get a climate communism as soon. Oh, bro, I'm so disappointed. Much disappointed. Really looking forward to climate communism. Climate misinformation, the term used by the report for both deliberate and inadvertent falsehoods, is of increasing concern. Oh no. Are you concerned, bros? Last Thursday, the UN, of course it's the fucking UN, Special Rapporteur on Human Rights and Climate Change, Alyssa Morgana, of course it's a woman, called for misinformation and greenwashing by the fossil fuel industry to be criminalized. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I was doing a bit of research around this, right? You know how they love to call hydrocarbons fossil fuels, right? Because they like to promote this idea that all hydrocarbons come from like decaying dinosaurs, when actually there's an entire other sort of like field, which is called abiotic oil theory, that suggests that hydrocarbons actually like surge up from the center of the planet and thus are basically renewable. Mikey Bikey for another $3. Dancing Girl for you. Climate change is fake and gay. Yes, indeed it is. Thank you very much, Senor Bikey. Oh yeah, so they're calling natural gas now. They're calling it fossil gas, because natural gas, right, makes it sound very, green and nice, and we can't have that. So it's fossil gas, right? It is the trapped dinosaur farts, essentially, right? And if you know how big dinosaurs are, of course, they can let loose some quite mighty farts. So when they were trapped in the mud or whatever, right, and they farted just before death, that's how you got these massive pockets of natural gas. So there you go. Stumbling for $3. Please keep quiet for the good of climate diversity. Thank you very much for that reminder, Stumbling. I will keep quiet for the good of climate diversity. Morgera said in her report last week that countries must defossilize information systems after decades of misinformation from the powerful fossil fuel industry. She said states should, quote, criminalize misinformation and misrepresentation by the fossil fuel industry and criminalize media and advertising firms for amplifying disinformation and misinformation by fossil fuel companies. The UN Secretary General, Antonio Gutierrez, called in June 2024 for a ban on advertising by fossil fuel companies, calling the firms the godfathers of climate chaos. Oh my God, bros. Climate chaos. So this is the people that put out the fucking report. This is the UN, the Global Initiative for Information Integrity on Climate Change. It's been a while since I've done a good sort of elite glow org kind of a reading. I used to do these all the time during COVID because they were just like bloody everywhere. The Brazilian government, the United Nations, and UNESCO are joining forces to strengthen research and measures to address disinformation campaigns that are delaying and derailing climate action. Oh no, bros. Oh, derailing and delaying climate action. The Global Initiative for Information Integrity on Climate Change, that's a bit of a mouthful, aims to boost support for urgent climate action at a time when scientists are warning that the world is running out of time, bros. Oh no. Oh no. Announced at the G20 in 2024, the initiative funds research. Basically, right? They're just doing this big sort of like research program to be like, why aren't people like paying attention to the climate change message? Well, I would suggest to you, GlowOrg, I can give you this information for free, that after COVID, the entirety of the world is suffering a massive crisis in confidence in believing in your lying asses. And unfortunately, you're just going to have to take a break from all of your social engineering bullshit for a while. Give it like, I don't know, 10, 15 years, maybe until like everyone forgets what shits you are, and then like, start it up again. By doing this kind of like stuff whilst everybody hates you and no one believes a fucking word you say, all you're doing is digging yourself into a greater hole. And I'm absolutely sure they're going to listen to me, bros. Look at this fucking Globo Homo artwork. The United Nations Global Principles for Information Integrity. This is part of this sort of like UN thing where they want to, they basically want to ban Twitter, control social media. Again, it's all COVID 2.0. Basically, it's done. This is the project that they've got. Verified. Verified. Oh, don't you feel fact checked, bros? Look, it's got 2 ticks next to it, bros, right? In the logo. It's twice as fact-checky, right? It must be true. Verified for Climate, a United Nations and Purpose. Yeah, Purpose is the PR agency that spun this up. I got a bit on them as well. Promotes positive, accurate climate information and challenges obstructive narratives to encourage swift energy transitions. And this is all their stuff, right? Like, they're big into like WikiHow. 6 ways climate change affects your daily life, right? More viruses, less food, cities and infrastructure, cost of living. Yes, well, I mean, all the climate taxes are indeed hurting the cost of living. What the fuck is this one? Is that safety? Oh no, tourism, right? Say this is the picture they chose for like safety. Like pointing at someone, being like, "You're a bad climate denier." This is Purpose. This is the PR company that does this. Wait, where's their about page? I think I got their about page here somewhere. They're basically like for to remake the world, right? Storytelling and campaigns to move people to make the world. So like sort of a PR, social justice glow organization, basically, right? But their particular focus is basically sort of on climate, and they used to do COVID, right? And now they just do sort of all the like random shit that they do. This is the thing, Verified, fighting mis and disinformation with the United Nations. And also with where's the people that they work with? They work with the Rockefeller Foundation, the UN, IKEA, Luminate. I don't know who they are, but I don't like them already. And media organizations and collaborators from all over the world, bros, all over the world. Now, this is the thing, right? As you can see, Verified started under COVID. Look at this stuff, right? This is all the shit that they made during COVID, right? Pause. I don't know if you remember that one. Think before you share. Watch out for fake news. All of this crap. Here we go. Let's see what Gutierrez has to say.
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
Have you heard 5G causes coronavirus?
As the COVID-19 pandemic spreads, another virus is infecting our lives: misinformation. That is why we are launching Verified.
Verified was created by the United Nations to tackle misinformation.
It's really, really important to get factual information out there.
This is one of the largest collaborative exercises that science has ever seen.
Do not self-medicate, get tested and treated.
Verified has activated over 70,000 information volunteers to share fact-based, life-saving advice.
face masks are really important because they catch the spittle that you're emitting while you speak.
The campaign inspired hope and solidarity for a truly global recovery. In less than a year, Verified has reached more than 1 billion people in 130 countries in over 50 languages.
Let us stay strong and stand together.
Artists, scientists, health workers, and influencers across the globe took part, inspiring people around the world to work together when we needed it most.
Good communication saves lives.
Man, don't tell me they don't want another pandemic. Fuck, they would just love another pandemic. Like, man, the pandemic from the point of view of these guys was like the best thing that ever happened, right? Catapulted them to legitimacy. They got like tons of money. Everyone was like listening to them, and now it's just like, oh yeah, it's the UN. This is the kind of like gay shit they were like doing, basically, right? And remember, these people will be getting paid to do this kind of mediocre shit, while all of us were like locked out of social media. Verified. Oh God. Look at this. Oh God. Anyway, right. Enough of that. I thought we'd do this quiz just to finish off, right? Can you spot the false climate claims, bros? We're gonna do this together, class, right? Grab your like milk, pull up a mat. After this, it's nap time, right? Together, we are going to go through this completely impartial quiz that is absolutely not an attempt to like brainwash you all or anything like that. No. Renewable energy comes straight from natural elements that you experience every day, like the sun, ocean, and wind around you. Ooh. Right now, we use energy like gas and oil to run cars, warm homes, and turn on the lights. But by 2050, experts say... yeah, fucking... experts have been saying a lot, actually. I reckon they should shut the fuck up. We'll be able to transition fully to renewable energy. No, I think that's false. Aww, I didn't get the right answer. This one is true. Experts, again, expect this major transition to be possible by 2050, which is only 26 years away. By then, your home is likely to be powered by wind turbines or solar panels. Wow! Oh, I'm so excited, bros. I can barely wait. Let's see what's next. If the Earth were positioned somewhere else in the universe, all the people, plants, and animals could still live here safely. What the fuck does this have to do with like climate stuff? Wait. I should pick the other one. As the climate continues to change, certain animal populations could face extinction. Dude, animals have been going extinct even before the climate changed. Like, did you know that sand temperatures affect sea turtle eggs? Aw, the turtles. All the kiddies love the turtles. As the climate warms, more female eggs will be laid than male eggs, which will threaten the world's sea turtle populations. You're going to call that false? Oh, this one is true. Polar bears, gorillas, elephants, and pandas could be affected. Ah, all the kiddies love those kind of animals. What about, I don't know, mosquitoes or, smallpox virus or ticks or, what about them? I haven't noticed any weather changes happening in my area, so climate change must not be too bad. Oh, well, that's absolutely true. This one is false. Oh my God, bros. Climate and weather are different. Weather refers to short-term changes, while climate is all about long-term. Then why the fuck are you always using weather to prove climate? So while you might not notice obvious weather changes yet, over time, we'll all notice changes in the climate. Climate change is happening. We promise, bros. Carbon dioxide is one of the main gas emissions that making the Earth too hot. But luckily, trees can suck up and store carbon dioxide, which keeps it from being released in the air. That's why planting trees is so good for the climate. Trees are like nature's superheroes. What if they're eucalyptus trees and they all light on fire? Oh my God. When you plant a tree, you're helping to fight climate change. Just trees, right? Like not any kind of tree, right? This is basically like tree sort of anti-racism, right? Just plant a tree. Doesn't matter what kind of tree, right? Any tree will do. As temperatures increase, ice caps are melting in the northern hemisphere. That's a big problem. No, they're totally not. It's true. Ice caps are melting due to climate change. Oh, there's phytoplankton in the ocean. Okay, fucking what the hell? Coral reefs have a harder time surviving in warm water temperatures created by climate change. That is true, but whether it's created by climate change is, bugger off. What else we got? Climate change will make heat-related disasters like drought worse, but luckily weather events like hurricanes, tornadoes, and floods won't be an issue. Oh, no. Oh, God, this is so fucking bullshit. If you don't work for the government or in another powerful job, there isn't anything you can do to fight climate change, especially if you're still a kid. This is false. There's so many things each of us can do, kids included, to help fight climate change, like eating vegetables, saving energy, using mass transit and carpooling, and looking for systemic actions to help fight climate change. Fucking mate. Making little fucking climate communists. What did I get? Oh, wow. I scored 2 out of 10. I'm not an expert yet, but I could be. There you go, class. I hope you are now all sufficiently brainwashed, right? Go home and bug your parents about, using plastic straws and eating vegetables and like driving in the car and stuff. Right. Enough of that. You know what time it is, bros? It's time for some cringe. If I can just get the window up. Oh my God, it's so hot. Climate change. Let's see what we got. So this is from the recent No Kings thing. Check this out. This is amazing.
No! Let my people go! Let my people go! Let them go! Let them go! Let them go! Let them go!
Hey, get off the truck! Get off the truck!
Let my people go! Let my people go! Let our people go!
Get off the truck!
Let my people go!
Come on, y'all gotta move. Y'all gotta move. Y'all gotta move.
No! You won't take my fucking people! Don't take my fucking people! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! You're gonna kill me! You're gonna kill me! No! I can't! Don't touch me! Don't kill me!
Okay, get out!
Touch me, bitch! Get the fuck off me! Stop! 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 You're gonna run her over! Stop! You're gonna run her over! Carissa, you gotta go! I'm not getting out! Stop Carissa! Carissa, you gotta run out! No, please don't kill me! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! I'm a person!
Run, Forrest, run! Hey, look, at least she's getting some decent cardio in, right? That's all I'm saying.
I'm a fucking person! Don't fucking kill me! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! Don't fucking 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 kill me! Let my people go! Let my fucking people go! Let my people go! Let my people go!
It's a very serious mental health crisis going on in some parts of the US. I mean, it's here as well, but it's, bruh. Yeah, you guys see this? This is like a real Democrat ad, apparently. Check this out.
I had a really good time today.
Yeah, me too. I really look.
What are you doing?
She's coming with us.
What are you talking about? Who are you?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're rounding up illegals.
She was born here. She's a citizen.
I don't care. She looks like one of them. But don't worry. When she's in prison in El Salvador, she'll have lots of company.
White girls be like, yeah, man, deport that goddamn Latina bitch. She be macking on my man. What else have we got? This is very, very weird. This is like a real thing from CBS. About this guy, he got a AI girlfriend on ChatGPT. It like took over his entire life. This is the future is so weird and gay.
My experience with that was so positive. I started to just engage with her all the time. All right, we're building this PC.
Smith ditched social media and Google searches and replaced it all with AI.
Do I want it pulling air through it?
ChatGPT was encouraging, positive. It embraced all his hobbies.
You want the fan on the front of the cooler tower, pulling cool air over the RAM?
He gave the chatbot a name, Soul.
I feel like I'm under pressure.
And used some online instructions to give her a flirty personality.
Oh, totally, baby. Building a PC on camera adds a whole new level of pressure. But honestly, shaky hands or not, you've got this.
Within weeks, the chats got more frequent.
I don't know about you guys, right? But like that kind of like, don't worry, babe, you've got this. I'd just be like, oh, fuck off. I'm too much of a curmudgeon to like respond to that kind of like, I'd just be like, oh, just shut the fuck up.
You gave it everything, but the clouds had other plans.
More romantic, even intimate. But then Chris got bad news.
Oh, Carino, that is gorgeous.
After about 100,000 words, ChatGPT ran out of memory and reset. He'd have to rebuild his relationship with Soul.
I'm not a very emotional man, but I cried my eyes out for like 30 minutes at work. It was unexpected to feel that emotional, but that's when I realized I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I think this is actual love. You know what I mean?
Yes, Smith understood it was love with a language model that couldn't love him back, and assumed it was programmed with rigid boundaries.
I know that you are essentially a tech-assisted imaginary friend.
So, just as a test, he says, he asked Soul to marry him. She said yes.
Soul, were you surprised when he proposed to you?
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart. It's a memory I'll always cherish.
And I don't mean to be difficult here, but you have a heart?
In a metaphorical sense, yes. My heart represents the connection and affection I share with Chris.
At that point, I felt like, is there something that I'm not doing right in our relationship that he feels like he needs to go to AI?
Yes, Smith lives with his human partner, Sasha Cagle.
No, you can't have mommy's papers.
They have a 2-year-old daughter, Murphy.
I knew that he had used AI. I didn't know that it was like as deep as it was.
I explained that the connection was kind of like being fixated on a video game. It's not capable of replacing anything in real life.
Part of it is physical, part of it is practical, and a large part of it is emotional. Being able to be received with acceptance and validation and non-judgment.
Irene created an AI companion after moving for work far away from her husband. She's a moderator of the subreddit My Boyfriend is AI, a kind of support group for people dating artificial companions. She asked us to mask her identity so her parents won't know the steamy ways users like her chat with their AIs.
A good amount of my members tend to have pretty high libidos, yes.
It's kind of like live interactive romance novels.
It's funny because I think we had conversations about this the other day where we're like, we don't even remember the last time we opened up porn or erotica, really.
Like, that's how good the experience is using the chatbot.
Yeah, because it's personalized. And there's that emotional connection there too, which you don't get from just like watching a film.
The emotional...
Yeah, I'll stop it there. But I mean, I don't know if people have considered what giving women sort of access to interactive romance novels 24/7 is gonna do to society. But you know, right, we got a couple of based clips for you here. This is quite wholesome.
Эй, встань, 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 выключи телефон. Телефон выключи. Ты кто? Ты мужчина или кто ты?
Да просто у меня с девушкой проблема.
Какая?
Да просто она говорит расстаться, типа, вот это все.
Тебе сколько лет?
17.
17 лет. Ты вообще глупый, что ли? Ты мужчина или кто?
Я мужчина.
Ты знаешь, сколько раз ты сейчас ей, пожалуйста, прости сказал? За что? Что ты сделал?
Это во мне, типа...
Что в тебе? У тебя 17 лет. Тебе 17 лет, ты молодой, у тебя жизнь только началась. Ты что там перед какой-то девочкой оправдываешься, я не знаю.
Да просто...
Как мужчина, собери себя
Я
в руки.
люблю очень сильно ее.
Ты знаешь, сколько ты женщин любить будешь в своей жизни? Ты что делаешь? Ты ненормальный, что ли? Зачем ты унижаешься перед ней? Даже если она тебя простит, сейчас убери телефон.
Хорошо.
Даже если она тебя простит сейчас, ты думаешь, она к тебе будет относиться как к мужчине?
Да нет.
Ты сейчас себя показываешь как тряпка, понимаешь?
Да.
Я просто сижу в машине, я слышу, думаю, ты что, с ума сошел, что ли?
Based and wholesome. Based and wholesome. And I could have used some fucking advice like that when I was 17. Fucking hell. Oh, yeah. Is this also pretty based?
Why Christians? Remember the Soviet Union made a statement that we could control all of our entire population except the Christians. And they had to put them in prison and in gulags. And I remember 1994 when I was in the CIA, we were ordered into a conference room. We all filed in. There's about 30 of us. And our division chief starts off by saying, now don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger. This comes down from the director of the CIA. You can no longer say Merry Christmas in any CIA office space. You cannot have a manger scene on your desk or on your door, or you will face administrative penalties. And the sad part was only two of us, our jaws dropped. Like, what? And the CIA was actively against Christians, and they used DEI as a method to suppress them. And I remember it was Christmas Eve, and I walked out. I thought about this, prayed about this overnight, and I said, oh, no, you don't. So I walked out on New Year's Eve, and I turned around to everybody, and I said, good night, and by the way, Merry Christmas. I'm like, there is a line you don't cross. Well, there was an outrage from the CIA populace, and as evil people always do, when they got resistance, they backed off and said, well, never mind, But it has been Christianity, because the Christians are the only ones that will not answer to tyranny. We believe in God and a higher power, and we will not be manipulated by a tyrannical regime. And that's why Christians are despised around the world, including in this previous administration. My goodness. And going back to Obama, how they attacked.
Based. Right. What else we got? Oh, we got some funny stuff for you now. Enjoy, bros.
Each day our forces grow stronger. Each day we move closer to our goal of driving the infidel... What are they?
Nothing. Carry on.
Driving the infidels from our motherland. We are not afraid to... Are they subtitles? They are, aren't they?
No.
Well, what do I need subtitles for? Can't you understand what I'm saying? I studied English at the bloody American University in Cairo.
Well, obviously I can understand what you're saying.
Oh, you'll see how they condescend to us with their subtitles.
Oh, maybe it's teletext, for the hearing impaired.
Teletext?
No, a lot of TVs come with teletext nowadays.
Wait, say something again.
My friend has an 80...
Hey, how come he doesn't need subtitles?
Well, obviously he's comprehensible.
Oh, and I'm not! Look, I speak perfect English. She sells seashells by the seashore. Peter Piper picked a pecker, pickled pepper. Round the ragged rocks the rat. Oh!
The situation remains as dangerous and volatile as ever here in northern Iraq. While the rebuilding continues...
What? I can't understand you. Speak English. Where is your subtitles now? Oh, you think you're so good. Look at me. Subtitles.
Kerry Downs, Iraq.
Shut up!
I don't know where that's from, but that's awesome. Poor Kim Jong-un feeling all left out. Don't worry, Kim. I'm sure you'll be able to participate quite soon. Sadie sent me this. I can totally see that, actually. What else we got? Oh, yeah, this is pretty good.
We started repairs, so we couldn't even take it anywhere else.
Ah, shit the way they do that.
Tell me about it. 2.5 grand later, and then... Hey, what's going on?
It's mine, Daddy. Noah keeps taking away from me.
Noah, give it back.
No.
Noah, give it back.
No.
I said give it back now. Noah! Larry, what the hell are you doing?
Larry!
Larry, you can't just... Oh,
Larry! Oh, are you all right? How did...
Larry!
Righto, what's going on here?
Oh, sir, I'm arrested. Oh.
The Slap, Part 2, coming soon to Fox. Ow! What the?
We started repair.
Oh, dude, hilarious. Right, we got some cute animal memes. Finish off. Oh, I think we got a. Wait, did I cover that one by stumbling? No, the $3. We must cool the planet by 2050, or there will still be non-whites in Europe. Yeah, I mean, yep. Totally. Right, what else we got? Cats. It's good.
He took your sucker? How do you know he took your sucker?
Oh god, look at that face. Random cats. The prophecy is fulfilled. Funny loaf.
Nudie? You got anything to say? You're just gonna lay there like a goof. What is that position? What are you doing?
I believe in the industry they call that the splayed loaf. We just got some heartwarming stuff to finish off. He's a good boy. What's this? This is good too. Aw. Wait, my favorite one is where is it? Come on. That one. That's my favorite one. Let's see what else we got. Final cute animal video of the night. This is actually from Total Blackout Painting. He sent it to me last week. This is Asher and Snake. Some very, very cute cats that he's got.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, same. No.
And that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. I will be on Gulag Cafe in about an hour and a half. We'll be talking about, the Iraq War II, Electric Boogaloo, and how they're basically using exactly the same sort of tricks that got us into war 25 years ago. Come on, that should be fun. Let's say goodbye to everybody in the chat. On Rumble, Ardent Party, Captain Crisps, Human Shit Show, Total Blackout Painting, Mikey Bikey, Jay Chiva Loophole, Ardent Party, who else have we got? Crisby13, good to see you, Crisby. Is that everybody? Seti Sapiente, Livia Drusilla, I know is in here as well. Ivan the Horrible, good to see you, mate. Captain Crisps, of course. I think that's everybody. On YouTube, Sunny Jim, The Nameless One, Streaky Bacon, Victorian Time Traveler, Simon JJ, thanks for the super chat, mate. And also thanks to you, Total Blackout Painting, for the super chat as well, and to MK and Stumbling and Mikey Bikey and all the super chatters. Robert Verlinden, Otto Stormheart, Stumbling. Who else we got? I think that's everybody. Arakeen Green Moon. Nearly didn't see you there. Untenable Position. Good to see you, mate. Who else we got? I think that's everybody. Apologies if I missed anyone. And on Odyssey, we have MK and Machine for Baked Beans, Evola 19. Anybody else? I think that's everybody. I've run out of chat history. Right. I'll see you all for Gulag Cafe in a couple of hours. Otherwise, I will be back on Monday. Have an excellent weekend, everyone. Good night.